in the house, and we're going to be talking about the 25 rules of thumb that Steve Gibson and his wife Betty have created. They're a nonprofit foundation. Go to the-academy.org or .com to follow them. They do face-to-face, toe-to-toe chapters all over the world, and we do part of the high tech for them. With them, I should say. So this is the rules of thumb. We're going to talk about number 3, start small, think big, and we're going to be doing that with Mr. Kurt Mortensen. Okay, so Kurt, if you're in and ready to go, I'll let you take it away.
These are the rules of thumb from the Academy of Creating Enterprise. Start small, think big. Every one of these rules of thumbs that you add, your business will get better, stronger, grow faster. These are key elements of your success. So let's talk about start small, and at the same time, you're thinking big. So we've talked about getting started, growing, expanding, and always giving back and helping out. So let's take a different look at this, how to start small and think big. Let's check out this YouTube video from Evan Carmichael. Let's expand it and think about this example of Harley-Davidson, how they started small, but at the same time, they were thinking big.
Today's lesson is think big, but start small. And it comes from the founders of Harley-Davidson. Now, Harley-Davidson was started by two friends, William Harley and Arthur Davidson, and they loved going fishing. And they always had the bicycle to get to their fishing spot. They wanted to take the work out of bicycling, get to their fishing spots faster, and said, what if we attach a motor to this bicycle so we can get to our fishing hole faster? And they made their first prototype, and they said, you know what, this thing actually works. We can get to our fishing spot faster. We can have more free time. We can have a lot more fun. And so they decided to start a company. But they didn't do the classic mistake that so many entrepreneurs make. They didn't go out and start investing into equipment and investing into a factory and investing into inventory. They didn't go out and spend a lot of money because they didn't have a lot of money. What they did was they set up in their backyard, they had this little shed, and they posted Harley-Davidson on the door, and they got to work in their backyard. They got to work with what they had. They may have had big visions, but they started small. And in 1903, they made 3 motorcycles. In 1904, they made 3 more motorcycles. In 1905, they made 7 motorcycles. And then they figured it out. They figured out how to make motorcycles properly. They figured out how to sell the motorcycles that they were making. There was demand, there was interest. They refined their process. They were now ready for expansion. And then they went out in their 4th year to get a new plant to actually go and build these things. They set up their own shop, a real shop, not just a backyard shop. And they made 50 motorcycles that year. And then they eventually hit 1,000 motorcycles and 3,000 motorcycles and 5,000 motorcycles. And you can see their success story and their growth. But the secret was right there at the beginning. They may have had this big vision for a company, but they started with what they had. And too many entrepreneurs are so focused on what they don't have. Right? You're focused on the money you don't have. You're focused on that investor you don't have. You're focused on the customer that you don't have. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, you got to do what you can with what you do have. You start small. You have that big goal, that big vision. That's awesome. That you need that. That keeps you motivated. That keeps you excited. That's the end picture of what you're trying to accomplish. But you got to act. Nobody's coming to save you. This is on you to get started in any small way you can to move your business forward. Even if that means a backyard shed, you're working with what you have to start building your dream. Think big, but start small. Believe.
So what are you doing to start small but think big? What were the advantages for Harley-Davidson about starting small? A couple here, a couple there, perfecting this, doing this. But when they cracked the code, when they made it happen, they were able to grow faster, better, and stronger. So Evan Carmichael talked about this, looking at the results here. So first of all, focus on what you have, what you do well, what you can keep up with. Work with what you have. At the same time, think big, have that vision. We've talked about this. Vision is that motivation. The universe will not reward you physically until you see it mentally. It's exciting. It's what's driving. It's what's motivating you. But at the same time, you're doing a little bit here, a little bit there. You're not trying to do it all at once. You can't open a chain of 10 stores in one day. You have to perfect it. Then you can slowly open up more stores and grow. It's great that you want to have 10, 20, 100 stores, but we have to perfect the first store. Then we can grow it. So think about this. What are you trying to grow too fast here? What are you trying to grow too big? I know you're excited. I know you want to grow it. And you probably want to retire yesterday, but we have to slowly build it and grow it. So some expert advice, things to think about, some questions to ask yourself. So the first one is, what are other products or services that you could add that your customers will buy right now? Or should you still focus on your main product? Is the location of your business the right one? Great place to get started. You're getting things going, but could you sell more products somewhere else? So is it time to go to another location? Is it time to open another location? At your current location, are things so busy that it would be difficult to serve more customers? Are there other products that you can add that will complement the products you have now? Are there other products that your customers are asking for that it's time to start offering? When will you know it's time to become bigger? You can ask other people, are you too busy? Do you have enough capital to expand? Are there things you can think about? You will eventually reach a point where you have too much work to do on your own. Too many customers, too many clients, maybe your store's too small. At that point, you will know that you are on the verge of being big and you can take the next step. Is it time to hire employees, to delegate more of your responsibilities? Different space, bigger space, multiple spaces. Those are the things you need to take a look at. But until you reach the point where you can't handle all the business, the company should avoid incurring large, unnecessary expenses. Is this something you can do without getting a loan or going into debt? Another advice, what are the consequences of trying to grow big too soon? I know it's exciting, it's a thing you want to do, but it could cause failure. It could hurt growth. It could hurt business. Customers might go other places. Look at your business, your side hustle. What are some of the consequences you could face if you try to grow too big too soon? Let's do a case study about Mark and whether he should expand his business or not. Is it time? Let's go through it together. Mark has a drink stand. His drink, which contains chunks of super fresh fruit, is very popular, especially on hot days. He takes a stand to where people are congregating, and customers wait in line for up to 15 minutes to buy the drink. Mark handles the money, deposits it into the bank, pays participating family members on a regular basis, and keeps track of inventory levels. He dreams of expanding into a storefront and has accumulated a sizable savings. So what are your thoughts? What do you think? Is it time? Let's kind of go through that again. Customers are waiting for up to 15 minutes to buy this drink, which is great. There's demand. They love it. But 15 minutes, you know people are seeing that line and walking away. Mark is handling the money, going to the bank, paying family members, taking inventory. All right, he's too busy. He needs to kind of expand and hire more people. And then the big piece there has accumulated a sizable savings, meaning if he wants a storefront, he has the savings to do that. It looks like based on this information, it could be a time to start thinking about, or at least set a date to expand the business. So let's do your homework. Are you starting small? Doing just a little bit. Maybe just like Harley Davidson, doing 1 bike, 2 bike, 3 bikes. I know you want to do more. Start perfecting it. Get better. Understand the market. Understand your customers a little bit more. Make sure you're perfecting it. But at the same time, you're thinking big. You're visualizing the big store. the big factory, the big supermarket, the big business, whatever it is, think big. I encourage you to look at others that are big. Yeah, I'm going to get there. I'm going to make it happen. See what they're doing, learn to benchmark it. And when you think big, remember that's your motivator. That is what you do well. So let's finish up with a story, a fable about the wise old oak and the hasty willow. In a sun-drenched meadow, a tiny acorn sprouted, determined to grow into the tallest tree. Nearby, a willow sapling, eager to reach the sky, shot up quickly and boastfully. "Look at me," the willow cried. "I'm growing taller than you. You'll never catch up." "Look at me," the willow cried. "I'm already taller than you. You'll never catch up." The oak remained silent, focusing its energy on sending deep roots into the earth. The willow, impatient, scoffed, "Roots? Who needs roots? I'm soaring towards the sun." Seasons passed. The willow swayed proudly, its leaves shimmering in the wind. The oak, however, remained sturdy, its roots anchoring it firmly. Storms raged, and the willow with its shallow roots was uprooted and tossed aside. The oak, though still young, weathered the storm, its roots keeping it strong. Years turned into decades. The oak grew tall and mighty, its branches reaching towards the sky, a symbol of strength and resilience. The willow, forgotten and broken, watched from the ground as the oak became a haven for birds, a source of shade, and a testament to the power of slow, steady growth and deep foundations. Understand, true strength and lasting success come from a strong foundation and a patient approach. I know you want to grow fast. It seems exciting. It seems appealing. But sometimes that can hurt your stability, hurt your ability to withstand challenges. But when you start small, focus on building a strong base, creating lasting systems, you can achieve greater heights and lasting impact. So remember, start small. What are you doing that's a little too fast, maybe a little too big? What do you need to do right now to perfect what you're doing? A great book was called Nail It and Scale It, meaning get it right, get it as perfect as you can, then you can grow it, then you can scale it. And then think big. Think about expansion, how you're going to grow. Because remember, you have to see it mentally. You have to visualize it before it happens physically. This is your motivator. This is what excites you. But you have to make sure things are in place and that we don't expand too fast. So there you have it. That's your homework. Make it happen. Start small, but think big.
Thanks, Kurt. And again, as you think about step number six, habit number 6 is add real estate and business. There's 5 F's. You're going to find good deals. You're going to figure out how to fund it, how to take control of it, how to fix the problem. And then you're going to either flip it so we can make some cash on it and make chunks, or we're going to do the farming, which is we want to create a stream of income that just keeps coming in and coming in and coming in. So again, a big thank you to Stephen Gibson and Betty Gibson and the whole ACE group that is so wonderful and having all these wonderful groups all over the world. We highly encourage you to look them up, and if they're somewhere where you live, join a group. They meet basically on a face-to-face basis, which we really love, and they're making a huge